get like a we're gonna get the inside view. We're getting the VIP treatment today, and I'm excited. John, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, brother. So we're gonna go actually inside your software. You know, we had in the
Yep.
Black Diamond Club yesterday. I got to tell you, that's probably you're like, why is Tristan sending me these emails? You know, the groups are growing where people go, what do you use? And obviously, we're supporting Fortis, and we, you know, back it up. And I said, a couple people were like, hey, I want to get in touch with him. I want to get in touch with him. I go, let me hook you up with my boy. So I did that to show off yesterday, just to tell you guys. But give me an idea of what we got going on, man. It's all yours, man.
Yeah, so we're going to kind of show you an actual, view of the system today and kind of how it works. You can kind of see how we built it specifically for chiropractors and what we did and, kind of why we did things that way. So first, we're integrated with a lot of the EHRs, so you can go right from your EHR. So you can go from John Smith in your patient profile in your EHR right to John Smith in Fortis, right? So this is our patient profile. Everything really you need to do for the patient to run a payment, a recurring, an invoice, anything like that, you can almost do all of it right from this one screen. So it was all built around saving time through clicks and making it much, much more efficient. So right here in the top left, you can see our stored accounts, and you can store credit cards or bank accounts on file for a patient. You can store as many as you want. So you're not limited by a certain number of cards. We don't charge per card or anything like that. You can store as many as you want for a patient. And you can even nickname the cards. So you can label them like the HSA card, the recurring card, maybe a care plan card, things like that. So when you have a patient standing in front of you, you're not going, hey, do you want me to charge your card ending in 5454? You can say, do you want me to charge your HSA card or your recurring card? And it makes it a
Yeah,
lot more user-friendly. It's a very user-friendly experience when you're doing that. To
beautiful.
run a transaction, oh, go ahead.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. To run a transaction, you can do one click right here on the little money symbol, or you can go ahead and click here and click run transaction. You can add a recurring from this card right here. You can view or edit this card as well. So we'll go ahead and run a transaction, and we can change it to, sale or refund, things like that. We have something up here called deposit accounts. So this is a really unique and easy way to run a transaction for multiple businesses. So if I'm a doc and let's say I want to split out my care from maybe my products, or I have multiple services that I run in my offices, or I have multiple doctors in my office and they each want their transactions going to their own bank account. Whatever the various scenarios that an office may have, we can accomplish it through our deposit accounts. So with one card on file and our deposit accounts here, I can select any business or deposit account I want this transaction going to. And we can name these. So although we have a demo company and demo retail, this could be Dr. John, Dr. Susan. This could be Chiro and supplements. This could be, escrow and deposit account. So
Okay.
however you may need to set it up, you can do that. So you can just enter a transaction amount. You can put descriptions. We also have something called tags. Tags in our system are used for reporting purposes. So this would be more like maybe you have contractors, but the doctor wants all of his money coming into his account, but he wants to be able to track what Dr. Jared's running. You can just tag these transactions and you can add multiple tags. So maybe if you're selling something or you want to track certain items that you run, you can just track them through our tagging process. So we make it really, really easy to do that.
Nice.
So once we're done here, we can just go ahead and process the transaction. It's going to give us a nice receipt. We can print or email the receipt. If you click the email button, we're already going to pull the email over from your EHR, so you don't have to re-enter that in. You can auto email receipts, so you can trigger that at the patient level. So just certain patients auto email receipts, or you can do it for the whole location. So very easy to do that. We do offer electronic signature pads so patients can sign, whether it be on a terminal. So any terminal that has signature pads that integrates with our system, that automatically works, or you can get an external signature pad, although signatures are no longer required, and issuers aren't even looking at signatures for chargebacks, so it's kind of a waste of time, but some people still makes them feel good.
Beautiful.
You'll notice down here we have a refund button. The system's intuitive, so we really don't allow people to make mistakes, and if they do make a mistake, they can pretty much fix everything. So if you need to run a refund, you can run a refund right here. If you go back and look at other transactions, it'll, allow you, this was already refunded. So you can see here, there's no button here. So we really simplify for patients to be able to, dictate what they are and aren't doing.
Now,
One other.
Oh, sorry. I was saying you're cloud-based, so you could go bring this to screenings with you, right?
Correct. So, we have a full mobile app actually, so Android and iOS. It's kind of, think of it like the Square. It's for one-time payments, but our whole system is mobile friendly. So I can actually log right in through my phone and access this whole system, and it's all mobile friendly.
Oh, cool.
Yep. When you are looking at actions, as I was saying, we really don't allow you to make mistakes. So there's this little full detail button. If I click on that, it's going to bring me to a screen over here where now I can see refunds, run again, save payment method, and link to contact. So we do some really unique things with this. So you can run transactions from previous transactions for up to 6 months after you've run a transaction. This is with or without the card being on file.
Oh.
So just ran a transaction and you need to run another transaction for that patient, but you don't have the card. And obviously, since we're PCI compliant, you can see we don't display the full card number. You can come in here and click run again and run a transaction from a previous transaction. Maybe you ran a transaction and the front desk was supposed to save that card, but they forgot. Well, you can just click save.
I do it all the time with my subscriptions, man. I have to, and then I have to go back in and this is great. That's a lifesaver.
So you don't have to call the patient for that card again. You just payment method. And then the last thing you can do is link transactions to contacts. So this is for maybe you ran the transaction under the wrong patient, right? Happens somewhat regularly. Now you can say, well, I ran this under John Smith, but I really meant to run it under Mike, let's say, or let me see. There we go. So maybe I meant to run it under Mike. So we can move it to Mike. And not only can we do that, we can move the card because maybe we saved the card under John, but we should have saved the card under Mike. So you can just click yes that you want to move the card, and then the next question pops up that says, do you want to move all the transactions associated with this card? And you can say yes to that as well, and now we'll move all those transactions under Mike. So as I was saying, we don't really allow you to make those mistakes. We can kind of clean those up for you. So very easy. If you save the card under the wrong account, forgot to save the card, need to move transactions to a new patient, anything like that you might need to do, you can always fix within the system. So very, very easy to do those things.
Love it.
Next, we've got recurring payments. So as you can see here, I've got multiple recurrings set up for a patient. The reason we allow for multiple recurrings is a lot of offices like to set up their recurrings for the corrective care phase and then the wellness care phase all at once. So you don't have to forget that. Or maybe you want to break up the dollar amount, so the dollar amounts might be changing throughout the recurring. You can set them up with future start dates. So one runs and it automatically starts. It's really a set it and forget it system. When you're adding the recurrings, there's really 3 types of payments you can run here. Repeating payments with no end date. So this would be your wellness care, right? Someone's under wellness care. They're coming in, once a week, once a month. You set it and forget it, and it just runs automatically until you tell it to stop. Then you've got yours that run for, maybe 4 months, right? Or 4 payments. And so this would be, during that corrective care phase. And you can set these up by days, weeks, and months. So if patients want to be billed weekly or bi-weekly, you can set it up for every 2 weeks, or you can set it up for every 1 month. It's really unlimited flexibility in that. And then you can also do one-time payments in the future. So, you need to set up a payment for Monday the 29th. You don't have to set a calendar reminder to go run it on that day. You just go set up a one-time payment in the future, and it'll run automatically.
Nice.
We even have notification days, so we can auto-notify the patient X number of days prior to the recurring running. So if patients need to move money over, or, they have those financial situations where they just want to be made aware, the system can automatically make the patient aware of the recurring run dates.
Okay.
Once a recurring's running, you can come in here and view these recurrings. So it's really easy to come in here and view the recurring. You can see here on the right, I have all the transactions that have gone through. I can see all the detail. And I even have these nifty buttons over here. So I can do things like place a recurring on hold. So this is a lifetime recurring, a recurring with no end date. So you can come in and place it on hold. Maybe a patient goes to Florida for a month or 2 out of the summer, or they're going to be gone, or they just need to pause their care. You can come in and hold it. You can also skip payments. So let's say they're going to be gone for a month, and they're like, hey, can you just skip next month's payment. Well, in pretty much every other system, delete the recurring, and then set up a new recurring and add that. And it makes it really, really complicated. So it's really complicated to do that and cumbersome, and it's multiple steps. Well, it's one click here. Same with like changing a card on file. In most systems, if you want to change a card tied to a recurring, you have to delete the recurring, delete the card,
right,
add a new card, re-add the recurring. Well, within our system, all you have to do is come here and change the card that you want, click save, and you're done. So you don't lose all the details of a recurring. So everything that we do, you'll notice it's one click to do these things, to update these things. Even the next run date. So let's say the patient comes in and the payment's due on the 27th, and they're like, I got into a car accident this month. I'm behind on my bills. Could we move the 27th payment to the 3rd? I get paid on Friday the 3rd. That would really help me out. With one click, you can move this month's payment without impacting future months.
Oh, so good, dude.
Yeah.
I know this is really geeky stuff for maybe some people. For me, I'm like, this is really good because, way better than Stripe.
Yeah, and it's all built around the efficiencies of the office, right? We want to make it, 1, easy for the office and the staff, and 2, easy for the patients, right? So we really just want to make it a lot easier to do those things. When you have a recurring with an end date, so this would be your corrective care phase, right? While someone's under correction, you have a recurring that's running this one for 5 months. In these instances, you can skip payments. So maybe the patient walks in and wants cash or says, swipe my other card. Well, again, you don't have to go through that process of deleting the recurring, deleting the card, adding a new one, doing this whole manual adjustment. You can just come in here and skip this payment, and we know that you're collecting it in some other way or fashion. Or you can defer payments out. So patient has financial hardship. They still owe 3 more payments left on their care plan. You can just defer it out 1 or 2 months, and we're still going to collect the number of months remaining.
Gotcha.
So it's very easy for offices to have basically unlimited flexibility around the recurrings and how they collect those and how they're flexible with their patients.
Cool.
Anytime a recurring payment declines, we actually automatically send an email to the patient on behalf of the office. So we say, hey, the following payment processed in ABC office was declined. Go ahead and click here to make the payment online. When the patient clicks there, whether it be on their phone or home computer, we're going to take them right to this site. They can enter in their payment and submit that payment. And if they click use this card for future recurring payments, we add that card on file and update the recurring for them automatically.
Okay. Nice.
So very, very easy, right? So now you don't have to have that awkward conversation with your staff at the front or with your patient at the front desk. And the staff doesn't want to have that conversation with the patient either. It's just awkward, right? So we remove that. And the great thing is these payments will still automatically post back to your patient ledger within your EHR. So very easy to do that. And then we send an email back to the office notifying them that this process happened. And what we've seen, we've had this process out for about 3 or 4 years. People have started to copy us on it now. So we're even taking the next step, which within the next 30 days, we're getting ready to release that card account updater, where we'll automatically pull a new card in for a patient. So if a patient gets a new card, so maybe they had fraud or their expiration date expired, anything like that, we can automatically pull that card number in from the card grants. This office has to do nothing. So this is really going to greatly reduce declines,
Daniel
and
Bryan,
especially around recurring declines.
Daniel Bryan, yes, chant, man.
Yeah, so it's going to be awesome. Offices are going to love that because we're really going to see declines go down because we're automatically going to pull the new card in from the patient. And this is all compliant. We work directly with the card brands to get this data. So Apple does this on the iPhone. If you have Apple Pay and you get a new card, you'll notice within minutes, Apple Pay has your new credit card number in there. This is how they're doing it through this system.
Love it.
Every night, an office is going to get a nightly email, a list of all of their reports. So they're going to see their approved, declined, their voided, refunded transactions. So that's very easy. We have a feature called Quick Invoices. This is really cool. You can send an e-invoice right to a patient. So if a patient has an outstanding balance, they owe you money, you want to collect before they come into the office, you can come in here and just add items, add the amount, and you can add as many as you want here. You can email out this invoice. You can get notifications for who receives it or who receives information back. You can allow partial payments, yes or no. So you can dictate even the amount, the minimum amount that the patient has to pay. So if you want to say, they owe $500, but they can't pay that, but they can pay $200 a month, you can set a minimum payment amount that they have to pay and set up all the notifications. You can put notes in here, and within a couple weeks, you're actually going to be able to attach files in here as well. So very easy to send an e-invoice to a patient to collect payments. When we originally built it, I didn't know exactly how offices were going to use it, but within the first week, we had an office say, I had been chasing a patient around for months. They owed a back balance. Because I sent them an invoice and it had our logo on it and it looked very official, they paid it the same day. And it was $1,100 that the patient owed. So these are the kinds of things that we want to help automate, right? It's all around collecting payments.
You add this stuff up, John, man. I mean, that thing there, the auto collecting the card by working with the branches, the systems that you guys have had. I mean, I know there's $30, $40, $100, $1,100, like you said. I mean, I have to imagine it's thousands upon thousands of dollars you're saving offices over the course of a year, at least.
Yeah, just in recurring. So through this recurring decline email process, we actually took a look at our, and over the past, I believe it was 2 to 3 years, we've auto collected over $500,000 for offices via that email. So that alone, we've collected over $500,000 for offices that they had to do nothing for, and it's a free piece of our system. So that's a feature they get automatically just by using the recurring feature within our system.
Okay, cool.
2 other big features, or I guess 3 other big features that I'll show you is full-fledged reporting. So reporting is important and it's awesome, but we also know offices like to view their data differently. So it's fully flexible. Every single field within our system is available here. So you can see here under account vaults, contacts, recurrings, all of the fields that you might want to see, you can pull into the system here. So you can custom create these reports. You can auto save these reports. So let's say I add a field in here. Maybe I want to see, let's see, the first 6 of the card number, right? So I want to see first 6 of the card number. So I displayed that, it comes over here. I can drag and drop this anywhere in the report that I want. So I can drag and drop it over there. It auto refreshes. And you can see here now I can save it as a new report, and I can share this report with other users in the office. And then I can always print or export this data right to Excel. So you can, basically create unlimited reports and create them how you want to see them. So very, very nice, very easy, very convenient. 2 other features that we'll go over. First feature is user permissions. So we have the ability to set what users can and cannot do within the system. So it's very nice because it gets very, very granular within our system, and we do this on purpose. And it's because the offices like to have different feature sets that they want their staff to be able to use within an office. So maybe you don't want your staff being, or the front desk person being able to run refunds or edit a recurring. So all these things, although it's very granular, it's done this way on purpose, is we want you as an office to be able to set what each team member can and cannot do within the system. Okay. So very, very easy to set this up. And if they're an admin, obviously they'll have access to everything. And then admins can set up other users and dictate what they have permissions to. Last thing we'll talk about is our hosted payment pages. So our hosted payment pages is a relatively newer feature within the system that not everyone knows about, but it's very, very simple and easy to use. And this is where you can add payments right to your website. So it's kind of a template and a builder where if you want to take payments on your website, we made it very, very easy. So you can see here, I can add columns, I can add rows, and we give you all these fields, and it's all very easy. It's all drag and drop right into the system. We have drop downs, check boxes, all these sorts of things, and you just fully customize it. So let's say you want to build a drop down and you want to say, how did you hear about us? And you can make it a required field. And then you say, Facebook, I'm just shortening it for here, and maybe Instagram. And so you can add these different options here, and now you can track this. So once you create this, and it gets kind of detailed where we've got even redirected URLs based on approval, based on declines. You can add your style sheet so it looks and feels like your website. You can set minimum payment amounts and maximum payment amounts, and you can preview it. When you're ready to use it, you just click use. We get even nerdier where we allow you to customize the payment button to say pay now or buy now or donate now, and you can customize the color and the code and all that. And then once you're ready to use it, you can either have a URL to make it redirected. So think of this like PayPal in the early days, where you click on a link, it opens PayPal in a new tab, and you can have this separate off your website, or we give you the code to just copy and paste and give to your website developer. And it's an iframe basically, so they can just embed it right in. And this keeps the merchant 100% out of scope, because when a patient's entering credit card data into the fields, they're really entering it directly on our system and our servers. So it keeps an office out of scope. And this is free with anyone that uses our system has access to this. So just an easy way to add payments right to your website, make it nice and easy, and easy to use.
You guys are mega, man. You guys are epic. That's freaking all around one-stop shop, dude. I love it.
Yeah, there's a lot more coming too. There's things we didn't go over. We have access to terminals. So if offices like terminals, Apple Pay, Android Pay, we can do that. Our dashboard gives a lot of reporting, and there's a lot more coming in the future. And then again, we've got the full mobile app. So Android, iOS, you go to a screening, you do events, you can run transactions right through your phone. And because it's all web-based and cloud-based, they can access it right here.
Yeah, and I love it, man. Guys, highly suggest you guys check this out. I know there's a lot of rumblings going on out there in the Chiro Facebook group worlds. Check this out. Share this with your friends. Tag your friends. Thank you so much, dude.
Absolutely. Good to see you.
Wait, hold on. If someone wants to jump on, this is very important. You don't have to be a recurring payment office. You can be a pay-as-you-go office, right?
Yes.
Okay. So correct, you guys, we have a link above. Yeah.
I was just going to say about probably 35% of the offices that use us are swipe only. They don't do recurrings. So for those guys, we still can handle all that, just one-time swipes or stored cards.
You go to chiropractor.fortispayments.com, chiropractor.fortispayments.com to learn more. And just remember that John's family is ingrained in the chiropractic. I mean, a long history with that, guys. That's important to me, if anybody knows me. I want to thank you, my friend, for jumping on and having some fun with us today and giving us the VIP tour.
Thank you so much for having us. Appreciate it.